Hey everyone, so that is a chord progression that I enjoy jamming over. As you know, it's kind of simple. It's only two chords. It's I'm playing E minor 7 to E flat major 7. And part of what makes it work is, you know, I mean, you could put any two chords together, but one of the things that this has going for it that makes it this transition really strong, and this, you know, this is something that goes back hundreds of years in classical music, but this idea that this note, the D, and the G are sustaining. And in the loop I have, I put the fifth on the bottom just to give it a little kind of beefiness. And then as I'm soloing over it, sorry, that was terrible. Let me do that again. Like, for instance, that G right there, I mean, I'm not always doing this, but this is one way to make the melodic stuff that you're playing transition between the chords even smoother. You know, that G is in common with the two. It's the third of each one. It's the minor third for the E minor, and it's the major third for the E flat. So that's something you can do between chord changes is, you know, look for the notes that are in common with the chords or in common with the scale. So, for instance, you could do this. Like I said, the D and the G are sustaining, you know. You can just have the G and D kind of happening with maybe some stuff in between. Or you can look to the other tones that are in the scale that are in common with the two chords. And as I'm thinking about it here, there's only one note. So I'm thinking, you know, E Dorian over the E minor, and then E flat Lydian over the E flat major. And as usual, I'm throwing in other stuff. Other notes to color up those inside notes, as I've talked about in other videos. But as I'm realizing, there's only one other note that's in common with the two in terms of tonality wise, and that's the A. It's the 11 for the E minor, and then it's the sharp 11 for the E flat. And so let's see what that sounds like. Kind of nice. You know, and that's something that it just reminded me of that kind of two-note idea there. Reminded me of Antonio Carlos Jobim's music, in the sense that he would create melodies that were just sometimes just like a two-note idea that would kind of repeat, and or even just one note. He's got a tune called One Note Samba. And basically the two notes or the one note works for all these different chords that are kind of going by. And that's a really cool thing to keep in mind as we're improvising, because it can give it that sort of compositional strength. Because the ear will grab onto those couple notes, one or two or three or however many notes will work. As the harmony's just kind of changing, and so the ear will accept kind of radical changes more if the melodic content is strong and works with each one of those chords. That's another video I'd like to get into, this idea of melody trumping chords. Yeah, so, you know, one of the things you kind of have to do with chord changes is you have to, as simple as this is, you still have to keep in mind the next chord that's coming, you know, so that you can prepare with your ear and, you know, as far as like which direction you're going to go. I like this analogy of when you're driving in a car, you don't just look right in front of the car, you look ahead so that you can navigate and not crash into anybody. It's kind of like that with chord changes, like you want to look ahead, think ahead, hear ahead, feel ahead, sort of anticipate what's coming before it actually happens, so that way you can just glide right through it all. Let me just kind of demonstrate that a little bit. Like that right there. And then I went up to that F right there, back to the D, as the E flat happened. That was not exactly what I played, but it's kind of like it, or similar enough. There's other things you can do, which I'll get into in other videos, but just talking about this for a moment. Ooh, I played out there. Like there, at the end there, I was kind of repeating, sorry about that one goof there, although I kind of like the dissonance that it created. But I was kind of continuing the same melodic sort of idea through the two chords as it was kind of going down there. And that's kind of the idea is, as you're kind of anticipating the next chord, you can kind of keep the same idea going, and that just makes for a strong melodic statement. And it just, again, gives it that kind of compositional strength that helps to kind of beef up the improvising, obviously. See if there's anything else I'd like to say. Yeah, you know, I mean, I could just continue forever here, but just thought I'd talk about that chord progression I really like. I'll do it in different keys, it really doesn't matter. It also works going up. Let me actually do that real quick, as this video goes way too long for most people, probably. I hope not. G major to A flat minor, or G sharp minor. I like to think A flat, probably the jazz in me. Like that last note, I sustain between the two chords because it works with both. Yeah, I'm realizing I'm not focused right now. I'm sorry, let me do that again. funny how our minds can just wander so easily and screw us up. Which is, maybe I'll leave this, I mean, that was kind of a good lesson, a little moment there to learn from. I've experienced it before, I'm sure, like all of us have. Where your mind is just thinking about other stuff. It could be something as simple as, you know, how am I holding my pick, for instance? That can take you away from focusing on the music. And so, yeah, you know, to play, especially improvisational music, but even compositional music, in order for it to be powerful and to have that strength, you really have to be focused all the time on the music. And yeah, that'd be a cool one to get into more of that topic. Anyways, I'm rather than feeling shy or editing out that kind of stuff, I leave it in because you know, I mean, it's actually something that I really enjoy seeing, and I find it inspiring to see this in some of my favorite musicians, some of my favorite guitar players, or just musicians in general. When they screw up, you know, it's kind of, it's like, wow, you know, even at the highest level that is that has been achieved so far. People are still people, you know. We're still humans, so we're gonna make some screw ups. We're gonna have some screw ups, and anyways, so I'm gonna leave that kind of stuff in, and hope you found that useful and hopefully inspiring. All right, thanks.